Hello, everyone. Hello. Happy Tuesday. Oh, it's so good to be here. Welcome to Untangled. We're on episode 142. Do I look tilted a little bit? Hold on. I have a little bit of OCD. I have a little OCD. Hi, New Zealand. Are you from New Zealand? Morena from New Zealand. Tulsa, Oklahoma. I want to go to Oklahoma. I've never been to Oklahoma. I'd love to go. Hi, Denmark. It's so good to have you here. Hello, Florida. Hello, beautiful souls. The link is under the video. First one. Link for what? Oh, yes, the 40 days. Amy, I hope you join us, my friend. The class starts tomorrow. Chester Springs, Pennsylvania. It's good to see you. Agora Hills, in-house. Brazil. What's Brazil like? I've never been to Brazil. I'd love to go to Brazil. Cape Town, South Africa. We were looking into translating my book, The Divine Design, into Portuguese. It hasn't happened yet, but we've been in the talks of getting it translated in Portuguese. It is translated in Polish, Bulgarian, and one other country so far. Hi, Germany. Oh my gosh, I have a love now. I have a new found love for Germany. Carico. All right, I could go on and on, but anywho, count on me for Portuguese. Yes, Belgium is here. All right, you guys, welcome to Untangled. We're on episode 142. For those of you that do not know what we do here, every week, Tuesday, 9 a.m. California time, we just talk about the evolutionary shift in human consciousness from a very basic human perspective. And today we may go a little quantum, a little far out there. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure what's going to come through. I always try to weave in a little of my own personal experience. Because I just think it's so important. And so maybe I'll start there. Maybe I'll start, you know what, that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start with my personal experience that happened last night. I always think it's nice to get the juicy human experiences. I mean, none of us are immune to the really intense energies that impact us on this planet. There is no one really kind of, I say this a lot, and I really believe it. I think unless you're like secluded in some, cave in the Himalayas somewhere, you're impacted by this shifts because it's energetic, and the energy, you can't hide from the energies, right? They're all over the planet. The energies being the frequencies that are continuously shifting on the planet and in your own physical body. That is evolution. That's what the ascension journey is. That's what evolution is. It's a shift in frequency, it's a shift in energy. And this shift is occurring in your physical body, in the human collectives, physical or energetic bodies, like all the human collectives together, all the human collective bodies together, and then the planetary body. So you can't hide from it. You can't run from it. You can't bypass it. You can't meditate yourself out of it. You can't positive think yourself out of it. You can't mind manipulate yourself out of it. You have to go through it. We all have to go through this. It's a very humbling journey. It's a very God-focused journey, not self-focused, meaning that it's not about me and I. It's about God and Source, and realigning and connecting to that, bringing that down onto earth so that there is this creation of heaven on earth here, right? And so we kind of have to stop really so being so focused on ourselves. But there is something to be said about focusing on self in the beginning of this new phase. We do have to be cognizant of our own participation in it. But then balancing, walking that fine line between really staying super self-focused and beginning to kind of expand into God focus. And what does that mean? God focus, right? Anywho, all of that to say, my dear friends, that we we are all being impacted energetically. And because of the different shifts that we find ourselves on the planet with regards to the evolution, these energies impact us in different ways or in new ways. And so we're always I encourage us always to get stay really curious around what I'm feeling, what I'm thinking, what I'm doing, what my body feels like, how the energies feel on the planet, how I feel with my friends and my family, how I feel with my regular routine, just really conscious of the feeling state throughout my days because it's going to change. And I'm not speaking about emotions necessarily. I'm speaking about how you energetically feel throughout the day. That's really important. I mean, if there is anything that is extremely important right now, it's really starting to fine tune how you energetically feel throughout your day. Um, how you energetically feel in your house, in your office, in your job, with your friends, at the gym, right? Like at the grocery store, like how are you energetically feeling? Not emotionally feeling, right? But energetically. We have to start really fine tuning because energetic feeling is void of judgment. So emotions have a ton of judgment, right? To feel anger is bad, to feel peace is good. We even characterize them as negative and positive, good and bad, right? So when we start to try to like explain or depict or peel back the energies that we're experiencing and navigating, if we use it through the lens of emotion, we're going to have a lot of judgment. That judgment is going to cause us to perhaps not move through the shifts in in more of like a flow state, right? Where you're just going with it. You're going to judge it, you're going to try to fix it, you're going to change it, you're going to say it's wrong. But when you start navigating everything through the lens of energy, so does it feel easy? Does it feel tight? Does it feel open? Does it feel restrictive? Do I feel anxious, which is tightness in the body? Do I feel trust where I feel open? Do I feel like, ugh, like something's just like, do I feel heavy? That's starting to navigate the world more from that energetic perspective because energies out there in the world that you bump into, they don't have a title to it or a judgment to it. The judgment comes once you digest, once you take in the energy, and then you start digesting it as a specific emotion or maybe a thought. And then it goes into the pile of like, the duality pile that we have in our brain, which is like good, bad, right, wrong, yes, no, should, shouldn't, right? That's duality. That's polarity. That is experienced, whether you want to experience it or not. It's experienced on the planet. Your brain functions in duality and polarity. So one of the greatest ways, hold on a second, you guys. I have to turn my heater off. One of the greatest ways, sorry, it might be loud for a second. One of the greatest ways to really begin to um, go through these shifts with more ease, more grace, is starting to peel back whether you're looking at things through the lens of emotion or if you're looking at things through energy. Does this make sense? I'm hoping this makes sense. So I'm going to give you an example of what happened to me last night. I've been working really closely with Jesus. I have been in a type of training um, that I didn't realize I would be in. Um, for example, I sit with him. Uh, Most of the day, I sit with him and write, but or just sit quietly. But I'll sit with him for about 2 hours in the morning. I'll sit with him for about an hour before I go to bed. And there's all this kind of interesting things that he's doing with my body and with he's making me aware of the mind body connection and all kinds of stuff. And one of the things he's been asking me to do is to clear my energy field in the morning when I wake up and to clear my energy field in the evening before I go to bed. And what he's been reminding me is that there is a lot of energies that we pick up throughout our day that just kind of hang on us, right? I want you to imagine that your physical body is this energetic pulsation, right? So your body is actually made up of energy, and therefore it really is just an energetic machine, basically an energetic blob. So it has this energy field, 8 to 16 inches outside of the body. It's this beautiful energy field, and that beautiful energy field is what allows you to experience the entire world. So, this whole world is actually energy. And the greatest way to experience the world is in its purest state, which is energetic. Your body has been designed divinely to experience this energetic world. So, outside of behaviors, thoughts, emotions, these are all responses to energy. So if somebody says something, it really doesn't matter what they say. It matters the energy behind what they're saying. If you think something, believe it or not, it really doesn't matter what the thought is. It's the energy behind the thought. How many times have you had a thought and it just comes and goes? But how many times have you grabbed a thought? The reason you're grabbing the thought is because there is some sort of energy connected to it that pulls you. A behavior is the same thing, right? Certain behaviors hold specific energies that pull us to it more. So, if we start realizing that everything is first and foremost, everything that you do all day long is first and foremost energetic. And when you're going about your day, your energetic field is tapping into like a bumper boat. It's tapping, even right now as I'm speaking. Okay. Your energetic field is experiencing my words first before they go in and are digested. So you're experiencing my energy right now. Your body is tapping into, believe, even though we're on a screen, your energetic field has these tentacles, okay? And they're experiencing my energetic field. And you're listening to my words. So words are coming out of my mouth, they're energy. They sound like a word, but it's energy. And you're taking that energy in as words. You're listening, you're consuming my energy. This is how we get programmed on the planet because we forget that this is how it energetically works. And so, because we only see things through the physical lens, we don't realize the power of energy. The power of energy is what actually programs the mind, right? And so, that's what subliminal programming is. It's continuing to tell you something over and over and over and over and over. And because you're not actually realizing energetically what's happening, because we've been numbed out to that awareness, we just keep taking in that energy. And the next thing you know, that energy that we're taking in begins to infiltrate the mind, settle itself in there. And now all of a sudden, we're believing things that we don't even realize we're believing because we've been consuming energy that we didn't realize, we weren't feeling, we didn't grasp it. We just thought we were listening to certain words. The words are not what's programming humanity, it's the energy behind the words, which is the intention. Okay, so hear me out, all right? If my intention right now is to get you afraid of something so that you trust me, like I'm the expert, right? And I want to kind of create like a disempowerment in you. If that's my intention, then it really doesn't matter what I say. The intention is the energy behind the words. Okay. So I could say, like, you guys, I've got this great product for you. You're going to love it. It's going to help from with all of your anxiety and stress. Trust me, I know how to do it. And if I'm like really stoked, right? And I don't have the energy of trying to create fear and manipulate you, You're going to take that in and it's going to feel great, expansive, open. You're curious. But if I hold the intention of wanting to freak you out and I want you to put me on a pedestal and I want you to believe everything I'm saying so that you buy all my products, regardless of how smiley I am and how I sound all professional, if my intention is to manipulate you, then whatever comes out of my mouth is going to hold that energetic intention. And you're going to consume that. You're going to feel a fear. You're going to feel like you need something. You're going to feel like, wait, maybe I'm supposed to do this. Wait a second, is this me? You're going to start feeling that. Now, this is not across the board with everybody, okay? This is a generalization around how energy works on the planet. So it is not black or white. But the overarching way in which energy works, in which we need to start getting very, very clear on, is that there is an intention behind everyone, whether they're conscious of it or not. And it is that intention, which is energy, that is being exuded out of their mouths and also out of their body, i.e., their energetic field, that you are consuming. And it's up to you to peel back the vision of what they look like, i.e., who they are, the sounds of the words. So the words sound great. They're saying everything right, and get to the energy behind the physical reality. And this is how we begin to peel ourselves away from the mass manipulation and kind of takeover, energetic takeover that's been happening on the planet. And it also begins to give you a state of freedom. You're not unconsciously being impacted any longer. Like, a lot of people are very empathic, so they feel a lot and they become more of like a victim, like a ping pong tape, like a pinball, right? They're just going all over the place and they just feel like they're being beat up by the world. And sometimes it can have like a victim mentality, like all these people and all these things are the world's too much. It's too much for me. The only reason that we are feeling that is because we don't understand the sovereignty of being able to be in all the different energies coming at us at all times. And we begin to be this like the samurai fighter, where we're just like we're understanding what we're consuming. We're taking full responsibility for that as we're consuming everything in our bodies, just like we do food, right? Everything that you're consuming on social media, on YouTube, on television, in real life with people in conversations, it's a consumption. You're consuming that energy all day long. You're taking in energy. It's going into your energetic body. It's impacting you. Always has been, right? That's where trauma comes from. Trauma is energy that has been stored in the body. It hasn't moved through the body. Trauma is literally an experience that happened outside of you, that is an external experience that has been consumed and has created an energetic experience inside the body. And because it was so detrimental and horrific, most of us have disassociated in some way, shape, or form from that experience. And because we've disassociated from it, we haven't allowed it to move through the body. And so it stays. Certain emotions that you don't like to feel, that you want to bypass, these emotions are coming from the external world at some point, whether it was 5 years ago, 20 years ago, or today. And when you have an experience externally, it's energetic. So if somebody yells at you, if somebody says mean things to you, if somebody's brutal to you, that is a physical experience that hits your energetic field, and you consume that energetic experience, creating an emotion that you're going to feel, emotions, thoughts. And because we don't understand what's happening, we hold it in. We think there's something wrong with us, there's something bad about us, or we start projecting it back. We start labeling it. Oh, that means that I'm not good enough, or I don't have boundaries, or all these things that we've been taught, right? Oh, apparently I need more healing, or this, all these labels and kind of systems to understand what's happening energetically. So the key right now for a lot of us as we become more of an advanced energetic human, which is what we're doing, okay, is that we have to start to remember the foundational basics of energy and how we consume it and how it moves through the body and what it does. This is massive right now because what's happening to us is that we are being inundated to such a degree, inundated with information, i.e., energy. You are consuming more energy into your physical vessel and into your energetic field than you ever have before. And what this does is it creates confusion, irritability, stress, worry, fear, disconnection, being out of alignment, anger, unworthiness, insecurity, comparison, massive depression. And I'm not saying that these things that I just rattled off have not been an experience that humanity has had for thousands of years. It's experiences, i.e., energies, i.e., emotions that we have always felt. What is happening on the planet right now is that we are on purpose being inundated with so much external energy now that we stay distracted from the path that is opening for humanity, which is, in my opinion, how I'm seeing it, is the God path is opening, which is the next phase of evolution, which is when we reconnect energetically to source and start bringing in source consciousness, God consciousness back into our bodies to activate the God particle within humanity so humanity begins to become more godlike. If we are being inundated all day long with external energies, confusing us, making us think we need all these healings, all these products, all these things we have to do. Okay, maybe this, maybe that. Well, this is wrong. Well, this, and it's mass distraction. Guess what you're not going to recognize? The opening that is happening on this entire planet, the opening of God consciousness, literally God's light flooding the planet right now for the sole purpose of realigning and reconnecting us to God consciousness in the body. We're not going to be able to see it. We're not going to be able to feel it. We're not going to recognize it because we are so busy trying to figure out how to just be each day. How often do you sit quietly with no distraction? How often are you sitting with just your thoughts, not somebody else's? How often are you going about your day doing what you resonate with as opposed to what everybody else on the planet is telling you to think about or look at or figure out? Or how clear is your day? And if we're brutally honest, it's extremely muddy waters we're in. It's extremely muddy waters. Okay. So back to my night last night. So Jesus has been telling me every day, he says, in the morning and in the evening and any time in between, clear out your energy field. So what he says is, he says, call me in, which is I do because I love Jesus and it works immediately. But you can do it however you want, right? You can do it on your own. But I call Jesus in and I'm like, Jesus, clear out any energies that are not mine. Clear out all energies that are not mine, that are in my energetic field. Clear out all energies that are not mine, that are in my energetic field. Now, if you know of a specific person and their energy is in your field, how do you know this? you're going to start thinking about them. You'll start hearing their voice. Maybe you're like you can just feel they're around you. Like, why am I thinking about this? Why is this popping up? Why are they not leaving my mind? Get out of my space. Leave my space. Get out. Right? It's a clear indication that there's nothing wrong with this individual. They're not bad, they're not dark, they're not negative, they're not lower vibration than you, which I pray we stop doing that. But they're just the energy is just in your field. And so we want to clear it out so that you can have a clear and aligned energetic field, sovereign field. Why? So that it's just your field. It's just you. That's what sovereignty is that and that's our divine nature. That's our natural state, is to be able to walk around this entire planet with a billion different energies simultaneously happening every moment, and you're not impacted any longer. This is not about becoming less energetically sensitive. It's becoming more energetically sensitive, and not from a victim mentality of, I'm screwed. This sucks. I don't like this. I'm going to stay away. The world is too much. I feel too much. It's about starting to remember how to do this, because it's not going to get any easier. It's going to get more challenging. It's going to become more energetic, more distracting, more people throwing all their energies onto you, more discernment. Okay. So I say, Jesus, come in, clear out all energies that are not from me, that are not mine, clear them out of my energetic field. And then if there's a specific person, let's say I was watching something on YouTube or on Instagram and it's just not sitting right with me, like it just doesn't feel good. Something feels off about it. I'll actually say that person's name. So I'm like, okay, clear the energy that's connected to this person. And again, I just want to reiterate, this isn't about that person, whoever it is, right? Being a bad person or a negative person, dark person, demonic person, evil person, negative, like what low vibe person. It's just for whatever reason, it's in my field and I'd like it out. Right? Again, we want to practice, if you are going to practice this, not making people like better than higher, like throw all that out. Let's just look at energy and how we feel, right? And what's resonating, what's not resonating. Okay. So I've been doing that. It's incredible what happens instantaneously, those energies, because here's what happens. You may feel like anxious or nervous or kind of like just off, and it may be because you've been digesting information or energies from somebody or something that doesn't feel right, but you don't realize that's where it's from. This happens 24/7. This happens all day long to all of us. There's nobody immune to this happening to them right now. It's happening all day long. And so we start taking on other people's energies without even realizing it, more now than ever before. And when we clear it, it's like, "Oh, I'm back to me. Okay, this is just my stuff. This is just me." Right? If you have anxiety and it's literally just your anxiety, you'll start to feel it. It'll feel a little bit lighter because it's just yours. And what you may start recognizing is a lot of what you're feeling isn't yours. It's actually not from your energetic field, meaning that it is being uh uh what's it called, where it's like generated by your own body, generated by your own internal experiences, generated by your own beliefs, generated by your own frequencies, generated by your own knowingnesses, right? It's being generated by the external world. That's why so many of us are just overwhelmed with right now. We don't, it's just too much. That's why the nervous system, most people's nervous systems right now are on overload. They're hijacked because people are not realizing the reason the nervous system is overloaded isn't because you're doing something wrong or you don't have the right practice. It's because the amount of energy that you are consuming all day long and what these energies are is impacting the system within you, the energetic system, which is directly connected to your nervous system. So if you want to relax your nervous system, First of all, just shut off everything that you're watching for a day and let me know how your nervous system is. Turn off your phone, turn off your computer, turn off your television, literally for an entire day, and tell me if you have a problem with your nervous system. We don't have an issue with our nervous system. We have an issue with the amount of information that we are unconsciously realizing that we consume. It's the difference between somebody putting a plate of food in front of you that's this beautiful plate of food that's just enough to keep you satiated for the day, and somebody throwing an entire buffet in front of you and saying, I need you to eat all of this, and it's overwhelming. You're gonna be you can't. It's too much. You don't even know where to start. Try to start one place, the next thing you know, you've got all these other places on the buffet bar that you need to keep eating, and it's overload. That's what's happening right now. But they've been getting us used to it for a couple of years now. So now we don't even realize. We think it's normal that we have this huge buffet of food and we just sit down and gorge ourselves until we're full. Instead of saying, no, this is not healthy for my body. All of this digestion is not healthy for our energetic system. And it's not about going and finding all of these new tools to do, because all that does is you're literally consuming more stuff. It's about going into silence. Don't bring your phone with you when you go grocery shopping. Do you really need it? Do you really need your phone when you go run errands? Do you really need to have the television on or the computer on with all the different podcasts running? Do you really need to have all the YouTube shows going one after the other, after the other, after the other? There's a reason that when one show stops, another one starts automatically on all devices. There is no shut off of information coming in. You have to shut it off. You have to turn off Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Spotify, all of it, your podcasts. You have to actually turn it off. Otherwise, the next one comes and the next one. Okay, so let me go back to my story. All right. So I'm going to bed last night and I don't scroll on Instagram too often, but when I do scroll, I'm very aware of how dark it feels to me, the pull. It's almost like I have entered a vortex and I'm aware that I'm in the vortex. I don't like that I'm in the vortex. I can feel that it's pulled me in and I want to get out of the vortex, but sometimes I can feel myself like it's a really weird energy where I'm like, it's like a torture. I'm torturing myself, right? And so I'll stay in that tortured, suffering state of being pulled in for about 10 to 15, 20 minutes max. And I'll get out of that tortured, suffering state of being pulled in. And believe me, I'm not a victim to this. I'm choosing and I'm watching. I'm aware of being pulled in. We must be aware of being pulled in. We have to be aware of that state. And it does feel torturous to me. And it's very strange for me to even say, like, I can't pull myself off, but it feels that way at times. So the more we can be aware of what we're actually humbly experiencing, don't pretend like you're not addicted. Don't pretend you don't get pulled in. Don't pretend like you have it all under control, because then you're actually really controlled. We have to be honest. We have to be humble. We have to be very, very, very authentic about this. So once I got off, I realized that the voices I was listening to, it impacted me. I didn't feel clean. I didn't feel clear. I felt off. I felt like something had kind of just come into my field that I wish wasn't there. Right. So it's kind of like, God, I wish I didn't watch all that. And I take a shower and I don't do what Jesus asked me to do. I didn't do that. Um, and I go to bed and I lay down and I'm just not feeling right. I feel off. I feel really off. And when I start to feel off, what it usually does is that I mentally attack myself. So I'll start saying mean things about myself, like, you're not good enough. You're never going to be the right teacher. You're never going to be able to do what you want to do with your teachings. I like will start to like berate my ability to teach. That's just what happens. It's where I go. So the other really powerful thing is for you to be aware of like where your mind goes when it gets infiltrated and it's not clear and aligned with God, right? So I go down a rabbit hole for about 20 minutes on Instagram. Before that, I was super aligned. And what does aligned mean? It means that I'm connected to this this God light, and I just feel good. I feel like myself. I feel confident. I feel aligned. I just feel really free. But then I go onto Instagram for whatever reason, I'm answering a message, and all it takes is going in to do some sort of work that I have to do, and I could get pulled. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. And I pull away from that pull, and I'm feeling horrible about myself. Horrible. You don't think that has to do with you being on Instagram, Lori? Of course it does. It's not this person's fault that I was watching. It's my responsibility, right? But let's look at the energy of it, Lori. Let's look at the energy. Let's dissect this not from this person's good, this person's bad, but the energy of it. 20 minutes ago, you were so aligned with source energy, God coming in. You were free, you felt so good. Now you feel off. Okay, great. Now, what do I need to do? Okay, I need to clear my energy field. I just need to clear the energy field. I'm not blaming other people. I'm not being a victim. I'm just going to clear my energy field. So I lay in bed after really beating myself up in my mind, and I could feel the distinct difference an hour ago to last night laying in bed. A drastic difference between energetically between how I felt an hour and a half ago and how I feel now. This is what it means to really dissect your energetic world. Then you start to get real clear on what's happening. And if this is imperative we start doing this. And so then I said, okay, drastic difference. I'm literally feeling like just insecure, worthless, just weird. Now, instead of me saying, like, okay, let me go down the trauma hole, let me go down the trigger place, let me go down what is this showing me? What's my shadow coming up? That is in my opinion, at this point on the planet, for a lot of people, that's a waste of time because that's just going to loop me in all these other facets that I could do, but it's not going to bring me to the initial point of me being impacted, which is the energetic moment I was impacted. If I start dealing with like, oh, this is a trauma, and oh, I got to fix that limiting belief, and okay, I need to do all of these things to like, oh, there's my shadow coming up and all that stuff, right? That just keeps me in more of like the matrixy loop. But if I go to the actual core of the initial energetic attack, then it clears. It's gone. So we have choices of how we can begin or continue to kind of walk down this path energetically of what's happening to us on the planet. Many different lenses, many different paths. They all are great. But what I'm offering all of us right now in this shift that we're in is to start looking at it from the simple initiation point where your energy shifted. What was that? So instead of going to, oh, that's my shadow coming out, or oh, that's a projection of something I needed to see within myself. Oh, I need to work more on confidence. Oh my God, I need to switch my thoughts. See how we go into I. It's all about me. What did I do? What do I need to fix? What do I need to heal? Meanwhile, literally, it's because of this energetic moment that happened. And when you go to that energetic moment, when you know when that energetic opening happened, and you can literally just say, I'd like to clear all the energy that came into my field or infiltrated my field in that moment and it clears, it dissolves, what if that is the next big flex of this energetic shift that we're currently in, which I believe is? So, anywho, I'm closing my eyes and I hear Jesus say, "Why are you not clearing your energy? Clear your energy." And so I said, "Okay." And by the way, the trainings that I've been doing with Jesus is it's all about being able to hold more of God consciousness in my body, hold the God particle activations in my body, whatever this is going to look like and feel like, basically holding the light of God inside the physical vessel, which is energy and it's not easy. You don't just do it. Um, and so you have to be aware of like all the energies around. There's so much awareness of like energy in order to really um integrate or hold God consciousness, like the Holy Spirit coming in, right? And to embody it. So there's all these different trainings he's been showing me and training me in. But anyways, the clearing the energy field is a top priority for him. Right? You got to keep your field clean, he says. So I close my eyes and I ask for this individual's energy to leave my field, and then I fall asleep. Well, I woke up this morning and I felt a huge amount of anxiety, which I don't feel very often anymore. I felt doom when I woke up, which I used to feel all the time. I used to wake up dreading. I had this low level anxiety every morning. Like I wasn't doing it right. I wasn't doing enough. What am I going to do? It was almost like there was a fear of going out into the world that day. This like cloud over me. It's hard to explain. It wasn't anything in particular and it wasn't depression. It was just this weird anxiety, this weird like I'm not doing it right. I'm not doing life right. I'm not like I'm going to screw it up or I don't know. Just it's horrible and I had it for years, especially during COVID. All the time I'd wake up with the same feeling and I would just get up and go and do my thing and it would go away. But lately, about the last 5 to 6 months, working straight with Creator, with God, connecting straight to God, bringing God in every day, it's gone away. This morning when I woke up, it was here. And I knew it was connected to whatever I brought in last night. So I sat quietly with Jesus. I set my alarm for 30 minutes and I started to just clear the energy, and immediately I started calming down. I started to breathe and just kind of really breathe in the Holy Spirit, the God consciousness into my body, and I started quieting, I started relaxing. The anxiety went away, that heaviness went away, and I slowly could feel myself coming back into alignment with me, which is alignment with my true nature, which is alignment with Creator, with God. And it all went away, it was all gone. There was a quietness, a peace. And then I sat for another 30 minutes because it was just feeling so good, and I was realizing how loud life is, how loud social media is, how loud everything is. And Jesus started showing me how much we are consuming. He says it's no different than food. People are stuffing themselves unbeknownst to them with energies that aren't theirs. And they're believing that there's something wrong with them. They're not understanding, he said, that the words they're hearing, there is meaning behind it through energy. Words mean nothing. It's the energy behind the words. It's the energy behind the words, he said. It's all energy. And he says the importance of us constantly being aware of that and constantly clearing out that field, our field. Really, really important right now. And so, one of the things that I've really been recognizing lately is that there is a divine design that the human body has been created with or as. Okay. The body has been divinely designed to be able to shift frequencies. Millions of years ago, I can't wait to do my class on this. I'm going to do a master class on this. It's probably one of the most important teachings we can have right now. Millions of years ago, humanity was much more advanced. Some would say they were in a fifth dimensional state of existence. So they were existing within a fifth dimensional frequency. They were very advanced. They had physical bodies just like this, but tweaked a little bit differently in a higher frequency. And back then, there was an energetic cord that went from the physical body straight to the creation, to source. And this allowed the physical human body to constantly have this flowing, living, breathing waters of God consciousness in and out of the human body at all times, which allowed the human persona to stay aligned and connected not only to God, but to the God particle, the aspect of them that holds God. And what this allowed them to do is to live God like as human, not God. They aren't God, they are an aspect of God. But there is that aspect of God inside every human vessel, which, when activated, that human begins to feel godlike, their true nature in physical form, which is a miracle. It's an absolute blessing and miracle. It is heaven on earth. That's why Jesus said, "Heaven is in you," because an aspect of God lives in you. Thank you for that super chat so much. God lives in us. An aspect of God lives and breathes in us. This energetic cord has been infiltrated, messed with. We've been cut off in a way. Now, it never goes anywhere because it's an energetic cord. It's designed to stay connected, but it's been infiltrated for thousands of years in order to control humanity. The only way you can control a human is if you cut them off from source. As soon as a human body and the human persona is realigned or reconnected to creator, to source consciousness, the living, breathing waters of where you came from, it's like the umbilical cord. When you're inside the mother's womb and you cut off the umbilical cord, you will die. It's the same thing with us down here. Of course, we don't die physically, but we die spiritually. And we are searching for that nutrients our entire lives. And so we search outside of ourselves over and over, or we search inside of ourselves, not realizing that the umbilical cord has been cut by the powers that have been controlling humanity because they knew exactly how to do it. And so, what we are doing on this planet is reconnecting our umbilical cord to God, to our mother or our father. Saying that you are God would be like saying that you're your mother. You're not your mother or your father. You're an aspect of your mother. You're an aspect of your father. You came from them. They created you, they birthed you. But you are not your mom and you are not your dad. You're a unique expression of them. And that's humanity. We're a unique expression right now of God consciousness, of God. But it is impossible for us to actually be God because we can't be God. There God is the source. God is source. It's the beginning of everything. It's the end of everything. It's where everything is birthed from. We are birthed from source, from creator. We will go back to that initial birth point. And in the meantime, we have been birthed out as this unique expression of God that is now choosing to experience the human. And in this human vessel is a beautiful aspect of the God particle. God consciousness resides in you so that you will never feel separate from God. But that umbilical cord has to be reconnected. And so, what we have to recognize is all of the ways energetically we are being pulled from that umbilical cord. We can search as much as we want in here, but we have to reconnect that umbilical cord. We can search outside of ourselves for money, fame, success, food, status, a new house, to fulfill that void within us, that nutrients within us that we've lost because the umbilical cord is cut off. When you plug that umbilical cord back in and all the nutrients fills in from God, the living, breathing waters of God, you're filled up. You're satiated. You don't need the nonsense that the world is trying to feed you. It doesn't make sense. All the fame, all the gluttony, all the lust, all the glory of success, of money, it doesn't do anything for you anymore because you're fulfilled. You're being filled up every day. Something just is naturally happening in you where you feel more calm, you feel more peace, you feel more surrendered, more acceptance. And so then it really becomes, and that's our natural state. We're moving into this advanced human. It's going to take a long time, but we're going there. It's going to take a very long time, but we're going there. That is the next phase of humanity's evolution, is stepping into the embodied God-like way in human experience. And so in my opinion and in my experience, we begin to start inviting in and reconnecting that cord so that God's light floods into us, floods through us, activating the God within us. One of the ways we start doing that is we start recognizing what all the energies that we are consuming outside of us to make us feel good, to distract us, to satiate us, like put it's like that's why, everything that's really easy, when they make it really easy for us, like, "Oh, just do this, it's really easy, you don't have to think about anything. Just use ChatGPT, it's super simple and easy, you don't have to do anything." When they start making things really easy for us, you really wanna question that because it's pulling you from God. It's pulling you from the umbilical cord. Anything that is not kind of bringing you back to checking in straight to source, like reconnecting to that umbilical cord. What does God say? What does creator say? What does source say? Is source breathing through me? Is source living through me? Is source walking with me? Like, where is that in all of this? The other thing before we go is, what does God like behavior look like? What does it look like? Start asking ourselves what that looks like, what it feels like. What would it require of me? What things would I have to let go of? What kind of obedience would I have to do daily in my life to stay aligned and connected? Because the world out there that's been controlling you for thousands of years doesn't want you to stay aligned and connected to that source because then they can't control you. So it requires discipline, it requires obedience to the Creator, it requires shutting off the phones, it requires stop eating all of that food. It requires putting down that glass of wine. It requires letting go of that toxic relationship. And instead of doing all of those behaviors, you turn back up and in to Creator. You build a relationship with Creator. You turn back to God. Every time you want to grab that glass of wine, where's God right now? Because that's really what I want to turn to. Every time you want to go and have sex, with random strangers, turn to God because that's really what you're craving. Every time you're going to overeat all this food, go to God because that's really what you're craving. What we all are craving is God. But what we have been served is all of this sinful behavior so that we can feel the illusion of being satiated, filled, fulfilled, without questioning if this is actual, authentic fulfillment, which only comes from our connection back into God. There's a lot of baby steps in what I just offered up, but it's coming. This is what's coming for humanity. This is a big split. It's a big split that's happening with humanity right now. Is the organic and inorganic timelines. And the inorganic timeline will be easy and distracting and external, and the organic timeline is all about you and God. And when you do that, you start becoming more godlike. And when you do that, you start wanting to be of service. And that's all you care about is being of service to the world and to humanity. And everything else doesn't matter. And then you really realize the domino effect of what happens when we put God first, whatever that is to you. And we start watching what it really means to evolve on this planet and ascend on this planet. And we start to understand and recognize, holy cow, the umbilical cord has been cut intentionally, energetically. We've been cut off. And we've been trying our whole lives to find that nutrients, whether it's bypassing, whether it's religion, whether it's all these different drugs that we're doing, right? Whether it's everything we've been doing is to satiate that innate knowingness that we don't have the nutrients that we are designed to have from God, the living, breathing waters of source, of Creator. And we are naturally designed to have it come through our bodies, and it feeds us. What a glorious time to be alive. Glorious time. Anyway, that is all, you guys. Thank you for listening. Onward and upward. If you want to join my 40 Days with God class, we start tomorrow, October 15th. It is 40 days every day for 30 minutes. The practice itself is about 15 minutes. That's in, you're out. That's all it is. You're in and out. It's every single day we sit together. If you can't make it live, you have the replay. You can do it at any point throughout your day, but it is life-changing. It is the beginning of your life shifting. You reconnect that umbilical cord inside of you, outside of you. Slowly but surely, God comes in and really starts to shift your life. I do nothing. Creator does everything. Source does everything. 40 days 2.0. We start tomorrow, October 15th. Go down below in my description. Join us. If you have any sort of financial strain, reach out to us. We are trying to get everybody in, and so we will get you in. Just email us. I love you guys. I'll see you tomorrow if you're in the class, and I'll see you next Tuesday for Untangled. Go and clear your energy field and reconnect that umbilical cord. God, come through me now. God, fill me up. God, fill me up. God, fill me up. Fill me up. Just say that all day. God, fill me up. God, fill me up. God, fill me up. Fill me up. I love you guys. Thanks for being here.